Plan B is something I despise. When you start doubting yourself, it's quite hazardous because you're effectively saying, if my strategy doesn't work, I have a backup plan, a plan B. And that means you start thinking about plan B, and every thought you put into plan B is now a thought and energy you're pulling away from plan A. It's also crucial to realize that when there's no safety net, we perform better because plan B becomes a safety net. It states that if I fail, I will fall and be scooped up by someone or something else, which is not good because people do better when there is no safety net. If you don't have a plan B, you'll perform better in sports and everything else. I'll tell you what, I've never had a backup plan. I declare I've made a firm commitment to being a bodybuilding champion. I've made it clear that I'm going to be in America. I've made a firm promise to myself that I'm going to get into show business and be a leading guy. No matter what it takes, I'll do the work over and over until I understand it. And the same was true in politics and other fields. So having a backup plan, in my opinion, is really risky since it eliminates your chances of truly succeeding. People seek a backup plan for a variety of reasons, one of which is their fear of failing. What if I don't succeed? Then there's nothing else I can do. So, here's something I'd want to tell you. There's nothing wrong with failure. So don't be afraid of it. To ascend that ladder, you must first fail. There is no one who is unaffected by failure. When they remarked, "You're unbelievable," Michael Jordan said in one of his interviews, "Well, you just highlighted the successes," he replies. But it claimed that for me to become the greatest basketball player, I missed 9,000 shots while playing basketball at NBA games. So he missed 9,000 shots throughout these games where he was so good. Is he a failure as a result? No. He's one of the best basketball players of all time. But he's also one of the most unsuccessful. Do you see what I mean? We all make mistakes. It's all right. It is not acceptable that when you fail, you remain down. Winners will fail and get up while losers will stay down. If you fail, get back up. If you fail, get back up. You're always on the move. That's a definite winner. That's a definite winner. I failed in bodybuilding. I've lost bodybuilding competitions, powerlifting competitions, and weightlifting competitions. I've had movies that bombed and received the worst reviews. And in politics, I recall having several initiatives on the ballot that we lost. My approval rating in California dropped to 28%, then climbed back to 35%, and they won the governorship again. We're all losers, after all. We've all suffered setbacks. This is fine, and it's why I say, don't be concerned about losing because fear of losing causes you to freeze. You stiffen up. You're not at ease. You must be in order to succeed in any endeavor. It only happens when you relax, whether it's in boxing, at work, or while you're thinking. So relax. It's fine to make mistakes. Let's just go for broke and give it everything we've got. It's all about that. Therefore, don't be afraid to fail. This is one of my 6 success principles. You can only feel full as a person if you consider what you can do for a fellow member who may require assistance. Everyone seemed to have a different motivation to me. Why did you get involved with that? As an immigrant to America, I witnessed firsthand how America was the most kind country on the planet. They welcomed me with wide arms, offered me assistance, and invited me to Thanksgiving dinner. The bodybuilders were the ones that brought me into the gym. I had no blades, silverware, bedware, pillows, blankets, TV, radio, or anything else in my place. They delivered it to my residence. They were of assistance to me. I've seen this kindness directly in America, and I told myself, as an immigrant who is being hugged by old moms, I need to go and make sure that I give something back. What can I do as a bodybuilder? Then I discovered that when those Special Olympics came around, I could assist and train Special Olympians. So we began participating in Special Olympics, and before long, I offered to them that they begin powerlifting in Special Olympics, to have deadlifts that were safe to do, and bench presses that were safe to do, and powerlifting became the #1 sport in the Special Olympics. They always have a filled auditorium of 5,000 people, and I became the national and world Special Olympics trainer. And let me tell you, it felt fantastic. I felt better than if I had won a bodybuilding contest. Coming to one of their contests and seeing 100 of them athletes participating in powerlifting from all over the world and feeling joyful, included, and equal to the rest of us. I believe that we all benefit from someone's assistance on a daily basis. That's why I stated earlier, there is no such thing as a self-made guy. I mean, you're born and you need your parents to raise you and your teachers to teach you. You need your coaches to do sports. And so when I think back of the people who helped me, one person in particular comes to mind. Where is my friend, Albert Busek? Is he sitting here somewhere? The reason I just wanted him to come out here to the front so you could see him is because without Albert Busek, I would not have had a bodybuilding career. Stay right there, Albert, and look this way so they can see your face. For example, out of the thousands and thousands of people that assisted me, Albert Busek was one of them who assisted me in translating into English so that I could fill out my application form for Mr. Universe contest, and then he traveled with me to London for the Mr. Universe contest. He allowed me to come to Munich and work as a trainer in the gymnasium and on Schillerstrasse. It was an excellent gymnasium. He was a very exceptional friend. They've taken hundreds and thousands of photos since then, and they've supported me with every competition and everything. They've been a great supporter, but this is the type of people you need. We require assistance. We require assistance. I recall that everything I accomplished required assistance at some point. Consider what someone means when they say, Arnold is the greatest self-made man. You can call me whatever you want. I said, you may refer to me as Arnie Schwartzy, Terminator, or Governor, but never as a self-made man. because I did not reach that place by myself. I explained. Think about it. How are you going to be successful in the movies without an audience? The people who came to see the movie are the only ones who make you successful in the film. As a result, I'd like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for coming today. You are the ones who are building a name for themselves. You have unfinished business, which you aren't even aware of. You need to pick up where you left off, but from a different angle. Return to the gym. Return to your drawing board. Return your attention to the task at hand. Return your connection. Return to the burning structure. You have unfinished business to take care of. All you have to do now is show up with a fresh viewpoint and a new game plan. You've got to finish what you're working on. You have unfinished business to attend. You've got a lot of work ahead of you. The importance of perspective cannot be overstated. Let's get started. I need you to be able to hear me clearly. It's all about how you look at it. You can't alter what happened in the past, but you can change how you think about it. You've got to look at things from a new perspective. Stop whining over the breakup. Stop whining over the loss of your employment. Stop whining about your new place. Your advantage is your point of view. I appreciate you breaking up with me. Here's what you did. You gave someone else a chance to come into my life. I appreciate you firing me. You provided me with the opportunity to learn more about entrepreneurship. I'm not a sourpuss. I've improved. The game is changed by one's perspective. Everyone wants more money, a different lifestyle, new zip codes, and new area codes. But you only read once a week and work out once or twice a month. So the reason you don't have what you see, why what's in your thoughts isn't in your hands, is because it's not your reality. It's because your viewpoint is diametrically opposed to your potential. You don't have it because you don't recognize its worth. If you believe you've been called to be the difference maker, the game changer, the disruptor, the one who walks into a room and changes the mood, if you believe you've been called to be useful rather than useless, everything you do, everything you see, everything you do is based on your perspective, your point of view. Your point of view. What are your thoughts on this? What happens when your perspective, your perception, and your reality are diametrically opposed? Everything rises and falls on your perspective if you want to give, grow, evolve, acquire, and become. Show me someone who despises working out, and I'll show you a man who nearly died when the doctor told him, if you don't work out, you'll die. It is perceived as an issue by some. Another considers it a blessing. He considers it a second chance. His new lease on life requires that I work out, which I do, and which allows me to live a bit longer. As a result, one person sees the gym as a jail, while another sees it as a passport. One man came within inches of losing his life, while another has never come within 100 miles, and one works out twice a month, while the other works out 4 or 5 times a week. Because you don't see the value in it, you only do it once or twice a month. Your frame of view is either your ally or your assassin. Your point of view will either propel you forward or lead you to your death. When we witness a storm or rain, we think of depression instead of thinking grass can't grow without rain. You assume you can't achieve anything. Rain is required for roses to bloom. First and foremost, there is one thing I want you to avoid saying. I should do something. That attitude, viewpoint, ideology, philosophy, and mindset will bankrupt you. This is where I should begin. That's something I should quit doing. I should be able to forgive. I suppose I should. You do not receive what you are entitled to. You obtain what you acquire. I have to exercise a certain number of times every week. I have no choice but to forgive. I need to grow up. I have to evolve. I have to keep my job. I need to mature. I have to stay alive. I need to grow up. I need to advance to the next level. This is the kind of house I'd like to live in. I have to drive a car like this. I don't give a damn about how horrible you think your shoes are. Another man on the planet would do anything to walk a mile in the shoes you're wearing. What does this mean, Marcus? This indicates that whatever you're whining about, what you despise, can't stand, want to leave or give up on, there's someone out there who would do anything to be in your shoes. So here's what I want you to think about. Is this a problem or a window of opportunity? Some of you have been waiting for a chance your entire lives. What if losing your job was a blessing in disguise? What if your divorce turns out to be a blessing in disguise? What if bankruptcy is a blessing in disguise? What if the one you loved was an opportunity for you to forgive and reconnect with someone? I'm counting on you to see the larger picture. I'd like you to show some gratitude. You must master the art of smiling. You must exercise. I know you despise going to the gym. I know you despise working out with weights. I know how much you despise cardio. I understand you dislike drinking water. I know you don't enjoy what I'm saying. I just take care of you. But there is someone in the grave today who, if given another chance, would enthusiastically, with great confidence, courage, and constancy, do what you despise simply to live a little longer. Look for the bright side. Consider the big picture. Keep your gratitude to yourself. The giant is not your assassin in the trial, affliction, or adversity. This is your chance to battle the giants. Are you going to whine when you're confronted with a problem, or are you going to grasp the opportunity? I don't care what you're attempting to obtain, what you're attempting to achieve, what you're attempting to give, how you're attempting to evolve, or how you're attempting to become. Everything hinges on your point of view. Stop whining about the jealousy, envy, and backbiting, as well as the person who abandoned you, the person who was absent, the person who lied to you, and the one who tried to manipulate and dominate you. I'm not tired. I've matured. I'm not a poisonous person. I'm victorious. I have a different perspective on this. This season was not intended to break you. It came to construct you, change your mindset to become the man or woman God created you to be. There's a reason why they say, see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because if you don't, you'll go insane. You'll become disoriented. If you don't see past this, you'll snap in half. For many of us, the struggle to see beyond our current suffering and into the promise of the future, the ability to see things from a different viewpoint, allows the impossible to become conceivable. You can't change what happened in the past, but you can always modify your viewpoint. From the same level of consciousness that produced, no problem could be solved. It's all a matter of perception when it comes to the seriousness of your difficulties. When you look at things from a different viewpoint, the majority of them appear trivial. Some of them will cease to be issues and instead become possibilities. The instrument you require is the correct perspective. This is a device you require. It's a way of life. It's a benefit. When you change the way you look at things, the things you see change as well. Knowledge, a speech, or a motivational encounter will not keep you going until you place them in context. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Because how you view the remainder of your day often determines how you view the rest of your life. Change your point of view. You have the ability to alter your viewpoint. You have the power to alter the future. Many of you who are reading this right now have unfinished business and need to return to that dream or notion. You set a date with fate. You have unfinished business to take care of. It's time to go back to the drawing board with a fresh set of eyes. It's your point of view, and keep in mind that point of view forms your language, which in turn shapes your environment. As a result, if you don't start thinking correctly, you won't be able to speak correctly. And if you're not speaking correctly, you won't be able to experience the world you imagine. I'm not sure who God has called you to be, but I can tell you that if you keep perceiving it the way you have, you'll never be it. Everyone aspires to go on to the next level. Everyone aspires to be wealthy and powerful, and everyone wants to be this esoteric uniqueness. But believe me when I say that none of this will appear in your next season with the same perspective. The ability to see things from a different viewpoint makes the seemingly impossible possible. Obstacles will always be present in life. There will always be obstacles to overcome. Giants will always exist. What have you been unable to overcome? What is your colossus? Give it a name. Is it apprehension? Is it because of your anxiety? Is it a feeling of insecurity? Is it skepticism? Perhaps a better relationship, weight loss exists between you and your colossal or unbelievable feat. What has been your stumbling block? What is your challenge? What is your mission? What is your colossus? This is the final day you'll allow the colossus to defy you. It hasn't been easy, I know. It's now or never to win. There will be many times in your life, Goliath. Depression, anxiety, oppression, tension, and overwhelm are all possibilities. Will you crumble under strain or rise to the challenge? David jumped up and ran into the Philistine army, according to the Bible. He dashed into the conflict, and just as an eagle is the only bird that can soar into a storm, it's time for you to fly into the next dimension of where you've been summoned. What is it that you wish for? So, what's the plan? So, what exactly is your task? Out of the ashes of death and dread, a new generation of champions has emerged. Even if your knees are knocking and your palms are sweating, it's time to get up and chase it down. Follow your heart's desire. Follow your intuition. Follow your objective. With everything you've got, chase it down. You won't have your future until you're completely convinced that you have everything you need to accomplish your destiny. If no one believes in you, you must convince yourself that what you have is sufficient. You'll need to be able to see. You'll have to see it before you can win. I want you to visualize yourself as a winner. You can have it if you can see it. There will always be a man, a woman, a boy, a girl, or a team in this world who will be up against insurmountable odds. Have trust that you'll be able to overcome through a combination of guts, will, and grit and a mustard seed. What I admire about David is that he was not only one of the youngest, smallest, and least likely people in the world. Not only was David undervalued, but so was his weapon of choice. There will be times in your life when people don't believe in you or what you're carrying. I'm going to tell you the one thing that set David apart from Goliath: his love for God and God's people. If you want to defeat your giant, you'll need a lot of courage. Between the depths of your anxiety and the pinnacle of your knowledge, you must overcome. Our Goliaths, difficulties, and giants frequently appear in our valleys. David's battle with Goliath took place in the valley, not on the mountaintop. I tell you, the tangible giants in our lives are defeated by intangible means. If a man can learn discipline and overcome his thinking, there is nothing he can't achieve. They will tell you that your ambition is excessive. They will tell you that you cannot realize your destiny. They'll tell you it's impossible to achieve what you've set out to do, but it doesn't matter what they say. It all boils down to what you say. I believe you were created to overcome every monster, every devil, and every addiction. You're battling for the sake of your family and your legacy. The cause you're fighting for is far larger than yourself. Remember this. David, as he hurried toward the Philistine, David bolted for the army. Get up and chase your dream, your idea, or whatever ambition you have. You can vanquish this adversary and secure your future. If you want to combat this giant and win the war, you must begin on the battlefield of your mind. This is where the war will be decided. You will learn throughout your life that the roadblock is the path and that there is an enormous wisdom in struggle. We will realize that we are most creative in the face of adversity, so do not flee your conflict. It is an opportunity to learn. You must overcome your fears. When you overcome your fear, your opponent goes bankrupt. They are powerless to intervene. You'll have to let go of your fears and negative self-talk. Remember why you're doing it. It is the why that motivates us to succeed, and it is the why that gives us the strength to keep going despite the how. Put an end to your search for the addition. Stop looking for reassurance. Stop hoping that everyone will approve of what you're about to undertake. Stop trying for everyone to understand and agree with you. All you need is what you already have. I can tell you're sick of addiction chasing you down with terms like death and darkness, attempting to instill terror in your heart. Will you huddle? Will you give in? Will you fight? Or will you flee? However, I see a generation rising up against the person declared you impotent, rising up against the enemy's flaming darts, taking a stand against the lies that have held us back for far too long. In the midst of sorrow, heaviness, and constant anxiety, I'm rising up. This is the moment I've been waiting for my entire life. Thank you to everyone who doubted me. My knees are buckling, my palms are sweating, and my heart is pounding, but I'm ready. I'm afraid, but I'm on my way. My feet will be a little more relaxed while they stroll on the pavement. Here's to everyone who doubted me, gave up on me, or dismissed me. What has been put to the test? What has been established? Make something out of what you've got. Make the best of what you've got. All you need is what you already have. To be the best version of yourself, you must take on your fears head on. You breathe life into its potentiality when you're lost. The most dangerous part of ourselves is concealed, but when we bring it to the surface and confront it, it becomes a weapon that propels you forward to greatness. Those who aspire for greatness must train to be mental detectives. Success necessitates a search through the darkest recesses of one's own mind for any hellish notions that may be robbing of grandeur. Personal transformation necessitates a regular study of the world's mental programming and belief systems. We must carefully examine, study, and dissect each and every thought to ensure that our thinking produces the type of life we wish. You don't only find yourself when you discover yourself. Look for God. My blood yearns for acclaim, but the fire within me declares that I don't require it. My deity refuses to fit into the box you keep trying to cram him into. The dream is too vast to blossom in your current residence. My feelings for you are genuine, yet I can't talk to you down there. My heart aches, yet your spirit struggles to comprehend what I'm saying. Nothing will be able to stop me. I'm on my way to glory. There can be no advancement without the assassination of our lower selves. We can only rise to greatness by dying to lower levels of acknowledgement. Both the wolf and the dog within us must kill each other. This insight enables us to ascend the heavenly stairwell. We need salt water after exchanging our mortal bodies for celestial bodies. The bridge to eternity is built by sipping from the great oceans of consciousness. We are able to pass over because of our bloody minds. Long-term change necessitates first going to the guillotine, naively laying one's head on the chopping block. It's critical that we don't leave any trace of our plot behind. Our prior limited existence must be completely eliminated. All traces of what happened have been erased from the record of reality. Even the weapon we used to perpetrate this heinous crime must be thrown away. As we enter the self-induced stupor of enlightenment, all previous awareness is washed away in the river of new. We must turn into assassins, tying the rope around our own necks. We put the pistol to our thoughts and lynch our false self. We now worship a higher power, scheming intentional acts of identity theft and homicide. The carnage and bloodshed must have been planned. The thief in us is pierced by the kitchen knives and forks of higher awareness. We slowly bleed to death while laying in a puddle of fantasies. The identity disappeared into the hungry stomach, resurrected in the butcher shop. The divine is exhaled by our new lungs. Are you a serial killer? We must eliminate our old ways of thinking, old habits, and old belief systems. We must first demolish it in order to create fresh life. Destiny's child longs to be held in your loving arms. So lovely in our dreams, small hands and feet. Our unconscious lungs are quietly waiting to take their first breath. Looking into the eyes of our own creation connects us to the divine. We won't be able to fully manifest ourselves until we can swing the sword. The comforts of today must be sacrificed for the sake of tomorrow's sun. The foundations of life are death, battle, and struggle. All remnants of the lower form of ourselves must be eradicated. We can recreate the garden we desire by using active imagination. Yes, spiritual procreation occurs when inner awareness realities are divided. Melt the dream that awakens your spirit and guard it with your thoughts. The flame is all that's left. I'm destined for greatness. The greater the fight, the more significant the outcome. The agony of a dream's genesis simply adds to its significance. Giving up on a dream is the same as aborting a life that may have been. Let us not sacrifice our future victories for today's illusions. Ignore the need to weep on your own. Do not overlook the smoldering fire within. Do not overlook the small legs kicking in your dream's stomach. We become the victim when we butcher our fetus out of fear and mistrust. The blood of what could have been clings to us as a result of maternal mortality. Our pregnancy is terminated by the goal of requiring evidence. The imagination is impregnated by heaven. In our brains, it is planting its holy sperm, but it is our fate that must preserve the womb that contains tomorrow. Each trimester necessitates a stronger conviction, a stronger belief in order to fertilize the egg. We don't need anyone's permission to be who we are. We don't need permission to dream the dream we've been given. We don't need to seek permission to breathe the air that makes us happy. All we have to do now is burn. You cannot put out a fire. Destined. Greatness. Each degree of success you achieve demands more determination, discipline, hustle, grind, and focus. You must be more concerned with your desire to succeed than with your fear of rejection. See, greatness is on the other side of no. Rejection did not break me. It created me. Look, everyone has the potential to be successful. Every single one of you reading this right now has the potential to be successful in life. Don't let anyone deceive you. Now, to get into that potential, that capability, that greatness, that champion, that warrior that's begging to come out on the inside, that'll tap into that. You must acquire the mindset that will allow you to achieve this. Create an internal standard that will allow you to do so. A grind that will help you achieve it. The core of come-from-behind economics is the grind. According to the law of hustle, a grind based on mediocrity will not support the lifestyle required for success. Without discipline, New Year's resolutions only serve to extend one's incarnation in mediocrity. The masses are essentially status quo satellites, as you can see. Successful people become the gravitational pull that causes the entire world to revolve around them. Transformation occurs when faith is mobilized. As a result, you must demonstrate that you believe in your dream by acting on it. Allow your grind to speak for itself. Stop making things more complicated than they need to be. It's easy to achieve success. Dream the dream you want to achieve, and then grind to the level required to make it a reality. That is all there is to it. When the world says you can't do anything, keep grinding. Grind if you have nothing and want to be someone. Get up and grind when people tell you your talent isn't enough, that you don't have the resources, the means, the background, the education, or whatever it is. Economics from the ground up, built on the grind. The one they all doubted, no one believed or conceived. But that obstinate fool just continued dreaming the dream. The world is yours. Be yourself. Wear what you want and set the world on fire. Hire and shatter every barrier that the world erects. Grind it out, friend, until the sweat runs down your face. Hustle, I said. It's all in the womb, buddy. The conflict, the struggle, the block is what gives birth to your inner champion. That belongs to dread, the spirit of doubt, and all the envious people who want to bring you down. Sweat was used to establish, constructed on a foundation of toil economics that arose from nothing. And I'm blessed and unstoppable, thanks to God.